We are so excited to have with us Emmy Reyes, the Executive Director and CEO of LEDC.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So you started at LEDC in an entry-level role and worked your way up to becoming the Executive Director and CEO. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your journey?
Yeah. So, born and raised in DC to a family of entrepreneurs, I was destined to work in the entrepreneurship space, but I very much knew as a daughter of entrepreneurs, I didn't want to be an entrepreneur, but I wanted to be in this space. And I was very fortunate in 2018 to see a Facebook post of a fundraiser that LEDC held at El Tamarindo. I messaged LEDC on Facebook asking if there were any internship opportunities at the time. I was very fortunate to be onboarded as an intern. I was an intern for about 6 months, and then I was eventually hired as a loan officer in our lending department. So I was promoted to risk manager in our lending department. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, it just sped up my trajectory. So I grew into the operations of the organization. I helped establish a new department that was helping us to distribute COVID-related funding. And in 2021, I was promoted to COO of the organization. And I served in that role for about a year. In 2022, I was fortunate enough to be promoted.
From your perspective, what are some of the biggest opportunities and toughest challenges facing women-owned businesses in the DC region today?
All of the data we have seen that has come out of the pandemic on entrepreneurship has concluded that Latina and Black women are the leading entrepreneurs in this country. And for me, that was an incredible thing to learn about. But also, it is not enough to help them establish LLCs, right? How do we actually help them grow and prosper? Many women established businesses in the last couple of years during the pandemic. There was a lot of COVID-related funding to invest and grow their businesses, and a lot of that dried up. And organizations like LEDC have the responsibility, in my opinion, to figure out how we take it from there, right? So what is the next step? How do we ensure that we continue to establish curriculums and programs and funding solutions that really address the kinds of businesses that women are starting?
That's amazing. I mean, I remember we started our business during the pandemic in 2021. I saw so many mompreneurs become business owners because we needed that flexibility to be with our kids, but also, to put our best skills and expertise at use. So thank you so much for all the work that LEDC is doing for Black and Brown womenpreneurs. Beyond financing, what do you guys find that most women that are in business need to succeed?
Yeah, I think it's really tailored programming, right? 3 years ago, we established a Wealthy Women curriculum program. And one of the things that we found was just the amount of women who have six-figure earned salaries, but are still living paycheck to paycheck. And part of that is the amount of debt that they bring on, whether that be student loans, but oftentimes it's family related debt, the family emergencies, it's the credit cards that had to become those loans because they weren't being applied to other sources of funding. Part of it for us is ensuring that we're always adapting to the realities of what they need. Of the loans that the organization does, roughly 45% of the approvals have a note that the business owner still needs to separate their business and personal finances. That is much easier said than done, and especially for women entrepreneurs who oftentimes have such a focus on their family. It's a simultaneous thing. They can't put their family lives on hold. They're still very much handling many, many things at the same time. The other part is, how do we ensure that we expand their networks? They're so busy operating their businesses. There are so many networking opportunities in the DC area. How do we ensure that they know which ones are really worth their while? And when they go to these, that they know what to do, because sometimes it's so intimidating. You walk into a space and you feel like everybody already knows each other and that you're new and you're not part of this clique. But the reality is that everyone there is just wants to get to know more people.
That's so true. As an omnivert myself, it's so hard to go to an event where I don't know anybody and just start a conversation randomly and try to sell yourself. But one of the things that I always talk about is look at making the relation an area of curiosity and wanting to create a relationship rather than just thinking of it as a transactional type of conversation, because DC is a very transactional city. What's that one piece of advice for a woman starting their entrepreneurship journey that you would have for her?
You don't have to do this alone. There are so many other women trying to support each other. And I think especially as Latinas, we like need that sense of camaraderie and family to really move things forward.
Thank you. That's wonderful. So some rapid fire questions. Favorite DC spot?
The best tacos in the city for me is Plaza Tectepec, which is on Georgia Avenue. And just a couple blocks north of that is Momolicious, which has the best Indian Nepalese food in the city.
What are you currently reading or listening to?
I'm currently reading Abundance by Ezra Klein to talk a little bit about all the ways that we have not set up our country to be building and manufacturing to the degree that we need to.
That's my 2025 book of the year.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I learned so much. And what do you love most about DC?
I really think that DC attracts some of the most caring individuals in the world. It brings some people from different countries and parts of the world that just want to leave their impact and leave the world just a little bit better than they found it. I don't plan to ever leave it.
I love it. This is my favorite city in the world.
Yeah, me too.
Emmy, thank you so much for joining us.